The answer is, I don't. Okay, a little bit of context for those of you who don't know what I'm on about. Yesterday, the 2nd of September 2017, I was interviewed by George Allen, who is a trainee reporter for the Derby Telegraph, which is the main newspaper in the city of Derby that I live in. Now, of course, having an interview for a local newspaper is a cool thing. It's a great thing to be able to be a part of, and I was really excited to do the interview. And when George conducted the interview over the phone, it was fun, and it was a laugh, and it was very relaxed, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought, this article is going to be great. Like, don't get me wrong, the article is a nice piece about a boy who comes from a working class town, who then becomes self-sufficient as a YouTube creator, and it's not something that's the norm yet, really, even though loads of people have already done it. It's just a nice little piece for people in the town to read, and I was like, this is awesome. But the problem with the article is it's a little bit embellishing. Some of the things that I've said have been taken a little bit out of context, and I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that. So I'm going to go through the article with you guys now. I'm going to read it to you for those who are too either lazy or don't care for reading it. And I'm going to explain to you some of the things that our friend George may have got a little bit wrong. So if you're a supporter of mine, you already know the Evening Telegraph got things a little bit wrong. Hit the like button, show your support for me, and let's jump into this wonderful piece of journalism. So already you can see the problem. Meet ace trainer Liam, the Derby YouTube star making £5,000 a month talking about Pokemon. I don't make £5,000 a month. Okay, I can explain this statistic to you, right? Last year, July 2016, I had my best month on YouTube ever in terms of ad revenue. I made what turned out to be about £4,700 in the month of July, which is fantastic and is mind-boggling and life-changing. However, that's not representative of what I actually earn on a general month. That was my best month. When asked by George, Liam, what do you generally make on YouTube? Of course I'm going to say, well, on my best month, I made 4.7k. But that's not indicative of the amount of money that I do make. And interestingly, later on in the article, George does explain this, that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's the title that people generally go for. The headline is what people pay attention to the most. Most people will read the headline and be like, oh, well, he's doing well for himself, and then move on and not pay attention. So when people come in and see, oh, he makes £5,000 a month, they don't read the article to see just how I apparently do that, and then to find out that actually I don't make it every month, that's just my best month. They take it as gospel. And then when someone then comes to a live stream of mine or something and sees that I do take donations, because money is fucking hard at the moment, you've got people thinking, why is he taking donations? He makes £5 a month. I do not make £5 a month. I look at my social blade, look at my figures, they are not high enough to make me £5 a month. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my last 5 months' payments from Fullscreen, who are my network that I get paid through, and you'll see that they're nowhere near the £5,000. I'll even convert them into pounds at the end so you guys know what it is, because it'll all be in dollars. But have a look at those payments and then tell me if I make £5 a month. Anyway, let's jump into the article. So we have ace trainer Liam, the Derby YouTube star, making £5 a month. Liam Edwards from Derby quit his job at Specsavers. I have a problem with this because it wasn't my job at Specsavers that I left. It was a different job after Specsavers, so I left Specsavers for a different reason. But he's now said that I jumped from Specsavers to making full-time YouTube videos for my 100,000 fans, even though later in the video he says which other job I was doing before I left and started becoming a full-time YouTuber. So a bit of inconsistency. I mean, I know what happened. George had said to me in a text message, like, when can I interview you? And I said, oh, that's fine. You can interview me at like 2 p.m. And he was like, well, actually, I'm only in the office till 3:30. So if you could get in touch with me sooner than that, which ended up being around about 1 o'clock, 1:30 time that we did the interview. So he only had till 3:30 to write this up along with any other work he was doing, and then boom, put it out for the next day. Could have left it a day to put a bit more effort and a bit more detail into the interview, but he didn't, basically. He rushed it, and that's why this is a bad interview. But okay, here we go. There's a lot of indiscrepancies, as we'll see. So we go through. Look, it's my face. Watch an example of Ace Trainer Liam's work from YouTube. We're not going to watch that because it's just a top 10 video of mine. So here we go. Oh my god, and now it's popped up in a giant fucking player. He was working a 9-to-5 job that he hated when he started making YouTube videos in his bedroom for a hobby. Now he has more than 100,000 dedicated subscribers from all over the world. George Allen finds out how a shy Derby boy became an online sensation. See, I do and I don't like that sentence because, yes, I started off as a shy person with very little confidence. That was one of the points that I made. But online sensation? Nobody knows who I am. 100,000 people know who I am, but imagine, just think how many people there are on YouTube and no one knows who I am, really. Liam Edwards dropped out of Derby College's Joseph Wright Centre because he didn't think the course was for him. He'll later go on to explain that I was doing 3 different courses at Derby College, but that's fine, that's a little indiscrepancy. Before working as an optician for 8 years, which he didn't enjoy, and then ending up in a concrete company in Ashbourne. Yep, it's very true. You could say Liam's life wasn't very exciting. I'm fine with that, that's okay. In January 2015, while suffering heavily with depression and being plagued by thoughts that his life didn't have any purpose or meaning, he turned to making YouTube videos about Pokemon in his spare time. That's fine. The only problem I've had so far, really, is the Liam makes $5 a month, which Liam doesn't fucking make. His first video was a top 5 saddest Pokemon goodbyes review. No, it wasn't. This is a problem where George did not listen to me. He asked how my YouTube career took off, and I explained my first video that went big was my top 5 saddest goodbyes video, which now has like 2.7 million views. That video was my first video to take off, not my first video uploaded. I explained very clearly that I uploaded my first video in January 2015, and that the saddest goodbyes video was uploaded in March 2015 and didn't take off until July 2015. So that bothered me a little bit because he obviously was typing away and did not listen. I wish he'd recorded the call and like actually listened to it back, but okay. His first video was a top 5 saddest Pokemon goodbyes review, counting down through some of the most tear-jerking moments in the cartoon. He would not accept the word anime. I said to him, it's about the Pokemon anime, and he was like, anime? I was like, the TV show? Oh, yes, you mean the cartoon show? Yeah, sure, cartoon show, dude, yeah, okay. When a trainer has to part ways with his beloved Pokemon. By the summer of 2015, his YouTube subscribers suddenly took off at a rate of knots. A rate of how many knots? Come on. In July alone, they went up from 500 to 25,000. That is a true fact. YouTube star Liam Edwards from Chaddeston is Ace Trainer Liam. Thank you very much for clarifying. YouTube's reward program starts paying users once they hit more than 10,000 channel views, but when I started on YouTube, there was not a view cap for monetization. The only cap was you needed to earn like more than $60 before they would start paying out. So this statement, whilst very true about the current YouTube, that you have to hit 10,000 channel views to get monetized, that was not the case when I started. So that's irrelevant to this actual situation. And soon Liam had enough money to quit his day job at the concrete company. You say soon, I say several months. He said, I honestly don't know what happened. This is true. The saddest Pokemon Goodbyes video stood stagnant, and one day in July, people suddenly start watching it, and by the end of the year, I'd started doing YouTube full time. Little bit shortening what I said, but that's pretty much what I said. I always tell people it's a 24-hour job, which I do. I live stream 3 to 4 times a week. I have a video going online every single day and spend upwards of 40 to 50 hours a week editing. It's very true. And scripting. I don't like that he said 40 to 50 hours a week editing, because I said editing and scripting and recording and all that jazz, but okay. The rest of the time is spent on social media, replying to fans and responding to comments, which is very true. What is this? The scary spiders invading your homes in Derby and Derbyshire? I'm not clicking that. The 28-year-old lives in a 2-bedroom house in Derby city centre. I had to be very careful because he was going to put my fucking street address. Like, he was going to put, Liam lives, I'm going to make up a fake street name, okay? Liam lives in a 2-bedroom house in Green Lane. And I was like, dude, can you not put my, I had to email him like, dude, can you please not put my fucking address? Where he has turned the 2nd bedroom into an office for making his videos. I say turned it into an office. I mean, I did say that, but at the same time, all I did was put some tables with computers on and a couple of studio lights. It's hardly an office. He went to West Park School in Spondon, very true. He grew up in Chaddeston with Dad Michael, who works at Asda in Spondon. I don't know why he asked me that either. Why did he want specifically to know exactly where my dad worked? But, I mean, that's fine. It's no biggie. At least my dad gets to be mentioned in an article. And his 31-year-old brother, Andrew. He also wanted to talk about my mum a lot, because obviously I made a video saying how much me and my mum do not get on, and I was just like, nah, I don't want to even include a name in this. He studied biology, psychology, and sociology. Oh, look, there's those 3 courses that apparently I dropped out of just one course at the start of the article because you were too lazy to write properly. At Joseph Wright Centre before dropping out after a year and taking on a distance learning course in ophthalmic dispensing. Yes, this is very true. I spent a couple of years after dropping out of college working full-time at McDonald's, and then I stumbled into a job working as an ophthalmic dispenser. Although you have spelled ophthalmic wrong. Ophthalmic is OPHTHALMIC, and a quick Google search or spell check in Microsoft Word would have told you that, but okay, whatever. What do I know? I'm only an ophthalmic dispenser, qualified. The course enabled him to work in an optician shop for 8 years. I mean, I was working in the optician shop doing the distance learning course. That's how I got the course. So actually, working in an optician's enabled me to do the course, but okay. Including Specsavers in Colville, before leaving in 2014 and moving on to an office job at a concrete company in Ashbourne. But at the start of the article, he very clearly says that I left Specsavers to pursue YouTube, but now he's saying that I took a concrete job in Ashbourne, which is true. I did take a concrete job in Ashbourne, but it's just weird because that's the job that I left to go and do YouTube, but okay. In 2015, he took up YouTube full-time, and in February 2017, he met his current girlfriend, Lydia, 23, who lives in Sheffield. It's very true. They matched on dating app Tinder and had a successful date at Wetherspoons. Jesus fucking Christ, George. You couldn't have made it sound more pathetic, could you? After a successful date at Wetherspoons. That... I don't even know why that's relevant. I don't understand. Was that to make me seem like down to earth and mellow, that they just had a date in Wetherspoons, cheap as chips? Or is that kind of like, this guy makes $5,000 a year and only takes girls to Wetherspoons? I don't know what you're achieving by that. She often comes to visit, but Liam lives on his own. How is that even relevant to your entire article? But alright, sure. So is being a YouTube star alone? I'm not a YouTube star. I'm just a YouTuber. Liam said, I do spend a lot of time in my office, even when Lydia's around. I spend a lot of time working on videos and making sure everything's up to date. But I don't get lonely, not at all. I'm a reserved person, so I quite enjoy it, which is very true. It's very true. I do quite enjoy it. So that quote's fine. Liam's top 5 saddest Pokemon goodbyes video has been watched 2.7 million times. And counting, mate. Ace Trainer Liam, as he is known to his fans, makes videos about all aspects of the Pokemon world. True. Here we go. This is my favourite. This is where he explains the Pokemon phenomenon for the people that don't know. To the uninitiated, Pokemon began as a Game Boy video game in the 1990s before worldwide franchise spawned a playing card game, a film, and cartoon series and toys. Do you know how many people you've hurt by saying cartoon instead of anime? It centres on hundreds of different fictional animal characters called Pokemon, each with their own unique attacks. Not all attacks are unique, by the way. And the human Pokemon trainers who want to catch and battle them for sport. What food can you buy when Five Guys comes to Derby? Probably anything off the Five Guys menu, I'd assume. Great article. Nowadays, the game is mostly played on the handheld Nintendo 3DS, a more modern version of the Game Boy. And it lives on in the anime cartoon series, which has been running since 1997. Boy, this guy did his research. On top of his YouTube work, Liam also plays Pokemon live, simultaneously broadcasting the gameplay and a view of himself playing the game to thousands of viewers at a time. I would just like to point out, this is George saying this, not me. I'm very aware that when I stream Pokemon, I'm lucky to break 100 to 120 viewers. I don't know where he got thousands of viewers at a time. I think he just looked at my Wi-Fi Battle highlights video and went, hey, this video's got 1,200 views. 1,200 people must have watched this at once. No. But YouTube stars have a peculiar kind of fame. Liam's fans come from all over the world and they log on, do people still say that? In their thousands to watch his videos. But no one's going to bother him at Sainsbury's in the Into Centre. What is this? That's not even a sentence a person would say. But no one's going to... You could have stopped that. As a writer, as someone who knows how to fucking write scripts and stories and things, you could have said, but no one's going to bother him at his local Sainsbury's. But you had to go very specific, but no one's going to bother you at Sainsbury's in the Into Centre. You had to get that key word in there so that you could get more clicks on the article. He said, I've always said my favourite thing about YouTube is that it's like being a pseudo-celebrity. I can walk down the street in Derby City Centre and no one really knows who I am. I actually said... my favourite thing about YouTube is it's like being a pseudo-celebrity in that there's 100,000 people who know who I am and who like my content and watch my content and support my channel, but also I can walk down the street in Derby City Centre and no one knows who I am. But obviously cut it short because it has more zing to it, I suppose. Liam Edwards says he doesn't think accepting donations from fans is taking advantage. This is where this article takes such a dramatic turn. It's really weird. All of a sudden, I don't think accepting donations from fans is taking advantage. But if you go to these YouTube conventions like Summer in the City, which is the biggest convention in the UK, there are tons of people who knew who I am. That has tents all over the place. People travelled from Denmark, the Netherlands, Portugal and Belgium all that way because they knew I was going to be there. That's very true. People did, and I love you guys that came to see me. When Liam needed to move on from his mother's house, I have a problem with this part of the article. because this makes me sound like such a fucking money-grabbing shit. When Liam needed to move on from his mother's house, do you want to explain why I had to move on from my mother's house? Do you want to explain how my mother was forcing me to potentially become homeless, was literally ready to put me, my fiance at the time, and our fucking 8-week-old puppy on the streets? You're not going to put that in there, so it just looks like I'm like, oh, I feel like moving out of my mum's house now. How can I get out? He turned to those dedicated fans to help him raise enough money to put down the cash to get his own place. I also told him that cash helped to clear debts so that I could help my credit rating, so I could get a house, so that we could have a deposit for the house, so we could furnish the house. Didn't put that. Makes me sound fucking awful. In just one 24-hour live-streamed gameplay session, could have just said live stream, he raised £2,000 in donations from fans, which is very true. Liam said, I have worried that it is taking advantage of these people, but it's not really, because no one is ever forced. I will quite often say if someone's left a big donation, like £100 or more, are you sure? Which is very true, I do that. But we've jumped into this with no context of why I was raising that money, and that really bothers me. Really, really bothers me. Because he's not taken into account. Because remember, this whole article has started with, he makes $5,000 a month. So people reading it are going to be like, if he makes $5,000 a month, why would he need to raise money to move house? So it paints me as a terrible person, and it really winds me up because it's not the case at all. I was in a situation where I couldn't afford to move out because I wasn't earning enough from YouTube at the time, and my mum was forcing us to potentially be on the streets. So yes, I needed to raise some money because I was struggling. And it pisses me off so much. This article's really pissed me off. So George, like, great job trying to be a journalist, dude, but you've fucked me with this. You really did. I'll quite happily refund it if they think they shouldn't have done it, which is very true. If ever someone sends me a donation and then suddenly thinks, oh, actually, I didn't mean to send that, then I'll send it back. I've sent, great example, Last Lindy. I've sent your money back to you before, I think. They wouldn't have done it. I found it. If someone was under 18, again, he's cut down my sentences, but he's not done the whole, ellipse to say that something else was there. He's just used a comma, which denotes that this is all that I said. I said, because he's put, and if I found out someone was under 18, all their parent or guardian would have to do is get in touch and I would give it back straight away. I literally said, if I found out that someone was under 18 and was donating with money that they were not allowed to donate with, then all their parent or guardian, upon finding out, would have to do is drop me an email, get in touch, and I would send the money straight back, right? That's what I said, but he didn't word it like that, which sounds like I take advantage of people, which I really, really fucking don't. Not only that as well, he was like, I mean, presumably some of the people that donate would be under 18, and I'm like, yeah, but you have to be over 18 to have a credit or debit card. So when I receive a donation, it's under the impression, much like any streamer, it's under the impression that the person who is donating money has permission from the person who's in control of that debit card and PayPal account to send that money. But hey ho. The thing is, this is true. The thing is, in a restaurant, there'll be an option to leave a tip, which is true. But many restaurants, when you go to pay with your card, it says, would you like to leave a gratuity? But when a streamer accepts a large donation, I like that he changed the terminology there. When a streamer takes tips, is what I said, the question of taking advantage is thrown around. If someone's a grown adult and they want to donate, it's completely on them to decide if that's a responsible choice, which is true. I stand by that. If you're an adult and you make a donation, that's your choice. No one's taking advantage of you. Here we go. Here's where he backtracks on his clickbait title and starts telling some truth. Liam's most lucrative month was July last year, where he earned almost £5,000. Very true. He said his monthly salary can fluctuate depending on the kind of adverts YouTube is promoting, and one month it was as low as £500. Less than the minimum wage, as Liam pointed out. Why did he have to quote me less than the minimum wage when that is a true statement? Because the UK minimum wage is like, what, £1,200? Whereas when I earn £500, that's considerably less than the minimum wage. But okay, you just quote me because I could be bullshitting that £500 is less than the minimum wage. What is that? But he said the money and fame doesn't go to his head. Very true. In terms of YouTube, I'm just a small fish in the ocean. I actually said, because it was a better metaphor than that, it was, in terms of YouTube, I am a small fish in the gigantic ocean that is YouTube, which is what I always say, because I am nobody. There are people out there with upwards of 10 million subscribers. Mine is a very small channel and very much in its infancy. It's very true. My sights are set on the moon and back. I want to grow as much as possible, but my main goal, because I said but there, but he didn't put that either. My main goal is to make sure my channel is consistent enough to keep me afloat, which is very true. If I ever get to the point where it's starting to deteriorate, then I'll have to go back into the real world, and I don't want to have to do that, which is something I've fucking said. Ace Trainer Liam's YouTube channel can be found here, and also on Twitter at Ace Trainer Liam. Inspired by Liam's story to change your life, of course. We at the Derby Telegraph always want to help you find a new job, blah, 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 blah. So that's the story. So hopefully this video has given you a little bit of insight into the little bit of embellishment that our boy George did. I get that you're an up-and-coming journalist and you need to sensationalize things to get attention on your work, but you really fucked me, George. You really did. You took things that I said and you twisted them to make me look like some kind of money-hungry fucking YouTube sensation. Like, I'm literally nothing on YouTube, and I pretty much earn nothing at the moment because of the way ad revenue's been and because of the decline that my channel's been in over the last couple of months or so. And I've shown those figures earlier in the video. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like the article that you've posted paints YouTubers as bad people, paints YouTubers as people who earn several £1,000s a month but then beg their fans for donations that they don't need, when in actual fact I was a struggling YouTuber at the time and needed money to move house because of an intense and very uncomfortable and very depressing situation, and you painted that as he could afford it, he just needed more money, and that really, I really don't like that. I know full well the chances of you posting a retraction or an apology are slim to none because you're a trainee reporter, trainee journalist, so you've got to get your opinion out there. You've got to get your pieces out there, your key pieces that are going to skyrocket you to the moon. Trust me, this one ain't the one, boy. But I just want people to have heard my side of things, because this is an article that paints me in a very bad light, and a lot of things are taken out of context. And I don't appreciate that. And it's clearly a rush job. With the way it's written, because it's written very poorly, and with the way facts are not only misconstrued, but then also later on corrected, or things that are correct are then later twisted later on in the article, it shows that you rush to get it out. And my advice to you as a journalist, as a content creator myself, my advice is take your time with your articles. I know you have deadlines to hit, and I know you have probably a certain quota of articles to write and things, but take your time. Rushing things isn't going to help. So thank you to everyone that watched this video. Thank you to the people that do support me and do realise that I do not make £5,000 a month. That is the most gross embellishment ever. I had 1 month where I made £5,000 and it's something I'm proud of. It's one of my proudest achievements in my life. But doesn't mean I earn it on the monthly. And in fact, I don't really earn a lot in a YouTube ad revenue. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. And until next time, I'm YouTube sensation Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.